Hi. I came across a really interesting article the other day on a blog called The Art of Manliness. And it was something to do with somebody called Nash and his pyramid of leisure, which is basically a way of categorizing how to spend your free time. And this blog post the article was utterly amazing in that it really explained the whole principle really well and really got me thinking about how we spend our spare time, our leisure time, how that's going to happen in the future, how we can use, and also I think things to do with the sort of fairly well-known narrative that's around at the moment of dissatisfaction with our lives, despite the fact that we have the most comfortable lives that we've had for millennium, really, in terms of healthcare, in terms of not working many hours, in terms of opportunity, in terms of knowledge. Despite that, there is an absolute epidemic, apparently, of mental trauma, anxiety, dissatisfaction with our lives. And it really, really got me thinking about work and life balance and how we spend our time. So there was a few interesting facts that came from it. First of all, the one that really stuck out to me was that we actually have more and more leisure time than we ever had. At the moment, apparently we have 4 to 5 hours of leisure time a day. Not sure I do, but yeah, 4 to 5 hours of leisure time a day. And 75% of that, I'm just looking down here at my notes at the moment, 75% of that is spent on watching TV. Actually, I got my numbers wrong there. The average American has 5 hours leisure time each day. The average American has 5 hours leisure time each day. What are they doing over there in the States? And they're supposed to be workaholics. I think we've probably got a better work-life balance over here, haven't we, in the UK and in Europe. But anyway, in America, 5 hours of free time a day, work-life balance, and 3 to 4 hours of it, 75% of it is spent watching TV. I just let that soak in for a little bit because I think that is really, really important. Or soaking or watching stuff. And Nash, who did this pyramid of leisure, was really motivated and interested in this thing called spectatoritis. And I think we have a culture of spectatoritis. We consume. We're a culture of consumers, and this is a massive problem. Watching TV, watching sports games, maybe. Soaking stuff up, listening to music, maybe, is an issue. But scrolling through Instagram, spending time on our phones, looking at mindless stuff. So what Nash did was work out this pyramid where there are 4 different levels of I suppose, virtue in terms of spending your spare time. And let's start at the bottom, which is the big wide base of this, where huge swathes of us spend our time, which is as spectators, doing the sort of thing that really doesn't feed our brains at all. It's sort of a junk food use of time. It's watching reality TV. It's stuff that you can dip in and out of really quickly and easily, and just gives you a dopamine hit, really. So scrolling on Instagram, scrolling on your phone, looking at YouTube shorts, stuff like that doesn't really benefit your development and your mental well-being. In fact, it can be detrimental, because a lot of these things, obviously, you start comparing yourself with other people and think, well, my life's not that interesting or that beautiful. And if you spend a weekend doing that, you go back to work on a Monday morning, and you haven't really improved your life at all. You've just your brain's just been in, I suppose, in sort of just in standby mode, just soaking stuff up and just having a bit of a dopamine hit and having a bit of fun. And there's nothing wrong with that, I think, to a certain extent. I think we all need downtime. But the issue is that this massive broad base of this pyramid is 75% of our leisure time, and it's eroding our brains. It's like a canker. It just eats away at your self-esteem. It eats away at our creativity. The next level up is what he calls emotional participation. So this is a slightly smaller block of the triangle, whereby we might be watching something, but we're emotionally participating in it. So I think experiencing a music concert goes into that sort of this sort of sphere. So actually experiencing it, being involved in it, losing yourself in it, listening to music, going to a concert, watching a sports game where you're really fired up and really in it, and you're really, you know, supporting your team or supporting your player, that sort of thing, going to a play and being totally absorbed in it, watching a film, being emotionally moved by it. This is a higher level or a higher plane of spending our time. And I like to think that the TV that I watch is of that level. So if I'm watching Game of Thrones, which I've watched 3 times all the way through, I think, embarrassingly now, I'm emotionally invested in that. You know, does it actually improve my life? I don't know, but it's a level above. It's a level above watching. I don't know, the reality shows, which I don't actually watch, to be quite honest. A lot of the reality shows that I don't watch, it's a level up from that. There's a sense of story, there's a sense of history, there's a sense of connection with the characters, a sense of emotional involvement, which I think is really important. But both of those are still very passive. We're sitting around, we're being fed stuff, even going to a great gig, even going to, you know, a music festival, we're being fed stuff, and there's a time for that, and it's really important, and it can be really nourishing and recharging to your batteries. But Nash argues that actually we should be going and striving higher than that, and the next level is what he calls active participation. And this is where you're actually involved in doing something, creating something. So you might be in a play, you might be an actor, you might be a musician performing, you might be somebody who is creating something with somebody. You're actually, you know, you're actually doing something in the show, or you're much more involved. But much more interesting, I think, probably is the highest level of attainment, the top one, creative participation. We are creative beings. There's no two ways about that. I firmly believe this. I absolutely believe that every single one of us has an innate, inbuilt creativity of some sort within us. We are storytellers, we are makers, we are doers. And I think some of us don't think that, because it's, after being 25 years in the education system, I was a teacher for 25 years or so. Certainly the education system in this country almost beats that out of you, because we become obsessed with the end result of creativity rather than the process itself, which is far, far more valuable and potent as a development. I think as a human development, the actual creative process is far more important than what the end result is for our individual development and self-esteem, I think. So this top level, creative participation, is writing music, writing plays, doing woodwork, cooking maybe, making stuff, doing stuff, creating stuff, building stuff, whatever that is, pottery, writing, all of these creative pursuits, painting, filmmaking, you know, on we go. All of these creative things for the creator are intimately more satisfying than living in those lower 3 portions of the pyramid. This top level is what really fuels us, what really fires us, what makes us us and gives us life. So I think I'm going to be doing a lot of videos on this sort of thing about creativity, because I can feel this myself, that this is where I'm happiest, and I have a great home life. I have many things about my life that are really, really, really great. And I love spending time with my family, and I love spending time with my friends, and I love watching TV. I love going to music festivals and being fed stuff, and being a participant and a spectator sometimes, or even sometimes an active participant. But what really defines me, what really fuels me as a human being, where I lose myself, where time stands still, where I go into what's called flow states really easily, where my brain won't switch off because it's constantly playing and having fun, is when I'm making stuff, when I'm writing music, when I've got a project on the go, when I want to build something and I'm planning something and I'm working on what materials I need to get and how I'm going to put it together, where it's going to fit, what it's going to do. That's the excitement. And I think a lot of us have lost that. How many of us spend our free time and our work time really not able to say, well, actually, I can't really see where I've spent my time. I can't see what I've done. I think we're built to respond to stuff. If we've made something, we've done something new, we've created something, fashioned something out of nothing that is personal and is ours, I think that's immensely powerful and immensely important for us in terms of our satisfaction, in terms of our sort of self-esteem, and in terms of our self-knowledge, and just sort of knowing who we are and what our personality is. This feels like, even though it's not greatly presented at the moment, because I'm really at the beginning of my YouTube journey, this feels like a real starting point for me in terms of wanting to share something that I feel really passionate about. Sharing how to be creative, whatever creative means to individual people. Sharing how to find the time, how to get into the flow of doing it, how to get into the mindset, so that you can really aspire to this sense of identity and sense of self-worth and sense of just achievement and just this sort of higher plane of being, he said, in a rather hoity-toity way. Yes, I'm on a higher sense of being because I write music for a living. I don't think so. But hopefully you get the idea. And I will be doing more videos on creativity as well as music, I think, in the future. And I'm talking to myself now, because I don't think many people are going to watch this video because it's right at the beginning. I think this channel might well develop in terms of really empowering people in their creativity. And I think that could be a really amazing thing over the next 2 or 3 years, because I think we're going into a period of AI, and there's a lot of, oh, nothing's going to happen. And I think it is. I think it's going to be like another industrial revolution. I think AI is going to have a massive effect on our leisure time. I think it's going to have a massive effect on employment. I think it could have a massive effect on our creativity and our sense of self-value and self-worth. And I think exploring our creativity as individuals, new and afresh within that context, could be something that is really, really exciting and vitally, vitally important. And I think I can help with that. If you've watched this far, thank you. I really appreciate it. Hopefully see you in another video.